sportsman, park ranger, landscaper, fitness instructor, student, waiter, actor, comedian, and nanny before deciding to become a stay-at-home dad / unemployed writer. He lives with his wife and 2 daughters and hopes that one day he'll have enough interesting experiences to warrant a longer bio. Please join me, welcome to the stage, Jim Noonan!
Michigan as a teenager, I had 2 fears. Large, white, kidnapping vans with tinted windows. And whales. It didn't always start out that way. Of course, when I was younger, I had all the normal childhood fears like sparklers, cats, and jam. That all changed one day. I'm sitting by myself watching the Discovery Channel. And on it, there's this husband and wife team, and they're in the ocean somewhere. And they're snorkeling around a bunch of whales. And they're sitting there, and the husband is filming his wife's interaction with these beasts from afar with this underwater camera. And as he's filming it, this whale comes from beneath, grabs her foot, and pulls her down. The husband, what do when a whale attacks your wife? You continue to film as she punches the whale. She's punching him down and down and down, and suddenly she's gone. She's no more. But he continues to film. And seconds later, here comes his wife and the whale. Up from the, and she's fighting. And she's not fighting as hard as she was the first time, but she's still fighting. And she's giving it everything she got. And the whale spits her out at the top. Well, she comes to. The husband comes to. Honey, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. I love you too. What happened? And she said, don't worry. He did not try to eat me. He was just playing. And I was like, yeah, right. He didn't want to eat you any more than I want to eat a burger if every time I bit into it it moved or kicked me in the face. No one wants to work that hard for a meal. You were lucky, lady. He let you live. He let you go. From that moment forward, it's fair of whales. I mean, you couldn't get me in the Great Lakes, let alone the ocean. 10 years down the road, I'm straddling the inside of a 4-man dinghy, sputtering down the fjords with the Nordic coastline to my right. It is beautiful. I'm there with some Norwegian friends, and we are looking, and it's majestic, and there's these mountains, and there's these evergreens, and there's rocks, and there's yaks, and there's cliffs, and it is beautiful. It was head in the water was so reflective, and it was still like a piece of glass. And we were going to this peninsula where they had this tradition where we were going to have this picnic, and we're gonna hang out there all day, and we're just gonna have a good time, and we're gonna eat, and it's gonna be wonderful. And I was completely immersed in the culture, and I watched these Norwegian men, and they fished for nothing, but they drank for everything. And I listened to the women cackle in their native tongues. And oh God, it warmed my heart. And the kids, they were experiencing the warmest summer they'd had in over 1,000,000 years. It was so warm that the chocolate bars were melting on their fingertips, and they were licking them. And I was like, I'm here, I belong here. And everything was perfect, and everything was going great until somebody introduced the set of skis. Look at the skis, because I know what skis do, and you know what skis do, and they knew what skis do, but they did not know that I knew that I wasn't going to ski. So I stepped back into the woods. And I spent the next couple hours really finding myself. Centering, picking cloudberries, laying scent to the fauna and flora. Oh, it was great. It was so overpowering and so overwhelming. And after hours of hearing all the laughter and the people whizzing around the fjord and skiing and they say we're leaving. And I'm like, awesome! I would love nothing better than to get back to a huge dry chunk of land. And I wake myself down to the coast. And as I get there, a hand grabs my shoulder. And he goes, Jim, we leave after you ski. No one tells Jim what to do. So I did the only thing I could do. I looked him in the eyes and I bit my bottom lip and I went, okay. Why would I say such an outrageous thing like that? But when in Norway, I guess you do. And he says, good, you get the wetsuit on, the water is cold. And I say, fine. And I look at the wetsuit, and it is fire engine red. It's the full body kind. And I go over there, and I start to stuff myself into the wetsuit. And I contort, and I bend, and I crease, and I fold, and I breathe in. And although it said Norwegian extra large, I'm sure it was a American child petite. But I take a deep breath in, and I yank it up, and now I look like a trainer for Shamu at SeaWorld. I went in Norway, and I head over to the skis. And what I was expecting was some state-of-the-art fiberglass skis that looked like skis, but what I was presented with was two 2x4s with a fresh coat of white house paint on it. The boots, they were black. And they were screwed in and nailed in and stapled and glued. And they were cracked and they were rotted. And the black, they looked like a droughted desert landscape. And my pinky toe on my right foot was completely exposed. And I looked down. And I moved to the water. And I dipped myself into the water. And it is cold! It is so cold! And my breath leaves me, and my back tightens, and my feet cramp. And I go to look at my feet, but I can't see my feet because I can't see my legs. And I can't see my legs because I can't see my winter space. And I can't see my winter space because I can't see my hands. And I can't see anything further than 6 inches down because the water is black. It is cold. It is inky black. It's the devil's cauldron. There's nothing below me but darkness. But well in Norway, I guess. And I grab onto the wooden dowel. And I look to the land and I give it a thumbs up. And I look to the boat and I give him a thumbs up. And I grab onto that dowel and I watch as the rope slowly unwinds. And it's getting louder. And it's getting there. And we're to the point where it's almost time. And I put my feet up. And I bend my knees, and with a jolt, I'm up. I'm skiing the ocean, and it is friggin' awesome! I'm like Captain America under Thor's rule. I'm in Norway, and I think this would be terrible, and it wasn't because I swashed right. Yes! And I swashed left, whoosh, and then I hit something. My right ski dips into the water, peels clear off my foot, shatters into 100 little pieces of kindling. When I come to, I notice the boat with the Norwegians have yet to notice that the American that they were towing has exploded off the back of their boat. And as the boat begins to get further and further away, it gets smaller and smaller, I realize I am alone in this dark water. like a big red buoy. And then I had that feeling that maybe I wasn't alone. There was this, it was a feeling, or maybe it was a sound, but it was sort of like I was standing next to a speaker while someone hummed into a microphone. It was a what a peculiar sound and feeling that was. And then I clench my butt. And I start to weep. And then to my right, a flash of white. I didn't see that. And then to my left, I feel a push of water. And then, right there, where you are sitting, it surfaced. Smooth, black skin, cold, dark eyes. The sound of water being pushed through its stupid little blowhole. Seconds, I'm covered with whale mucus. And I tread water. And then to my left. What are the odds? A million to one at best. Just like the lady in the film, with my ski-less foot hanging down below me. It slowly feels this slithery, god-awful menace as it scrapes my foot and breaches right in front of me. Now, I don't know if whales could sense fear, but if they could sense urine, they hit the jackpot. Because I unloaded a gallon of warm liquid shock all through that red wetsuit. And I sit there, and I'm floating, and I'm wondering. I've spent most of my adult life living by one motto. Do not get eaten by a whale. That's it. I am very close to having a friend call home and tell my mother that her son has just been swallowed by a large, uneducated aquatic mammal. So I curl up like a big red cherry atop a tasty saltwater sundae. And I merely wait to be consumed. Now maybe I was out there a couple seconds, maybe it was a minute, could have been a week, one of them years. I don't even remember getting in the boat. And when I got in the boat, they tell me, oh, there were some harmless blah, blah, blah whales. But you see, none of that mattered. Not one bit. Because my fears were warranted. It happened. I lived it. It came true. The moral story is, every day after that, every day since, I have had to walk around with the knowledge and the fear that knowing that somewhere out there, right now, there is a large, kidnappy white van with tinted windows.